Welcome back guys to Snip. So my last video was about 8 types of friends you should have in your life. So my next video, in this video, I'm going to talk about the signs that you are an empath. So basically what is an empath? So empath is a person who can feel what you feel. So if a person comes to you and talks about his problems, and you are able to feel the same way he is feeling. For example, somebody of his family has died and he's feeling really sad. So you are able to feel that. So that means that you are being empathetic with that particular person. Or if someone tells you a really happy news and you are able to feel it, so that means you are empathetic with that particular person. But what a true empath is a person who is highly empathetic. You may feel empathetic at sometimes, maybe really less, very rarely, but an empath always feels empathetic to anyone who shares his or her emotions with him or her. So let's get started with the 13 signs that you are an empath. First, you take on other people's emotions as your own. This is the classic number one trait of an empath. If you have this, you are on the start, because this is the most important one. This is the classic one. No matter what someone else near you is feeling, even if they think they aren't showing it, you are likely to pick up on it immediately. But more than that, you may actually feel the emotions as if it were your own, essentially absorbing it or sponging it up. How exactly this works is a subject of some debate, but we do know that people who have high levels of empathy also have very active mirror neurons, which means that the part of the brain that reads emotional cues from other people and figures out what they might be thinking or feeling. In other words, if you are an empath, it's likely that you can pick up on tiny changes in expression, body language, or tone of voice that others miss, and immediately sense what the person is feeling. Those same active mirror neurons, however, mean that you basically live through the feeling as if it were your own. That can be a powerful gift, but also exhausting and overwhelming at times. So, for example, you see a person who is sad but she isn't showing that she is sad. But you will sense out that something is the problem and that person is feeling sad. And you will be easily able to figure out that the particular person is feeling sad. And that is what the first quality of an empath is. Second, sometimes you experience certain overwhelming emotions when you are in public. It's not just in one-on-one conversation where you sense the emotion of others. It can happen at any time when there are other people around and without warning. If you are an empath, it can be challenging to go into public spaces because you may suddenly find yourself filled with an emotion that came out of nowhere, or more accurately, from someone else in the area. Third, the vibe of a room matters to you a lot. Perhaps unsurprisingly, empaths are extremely sensitive to the feel or atmosphere of their surroundings. When surrounded by peace and calm, they flourish because they take on those qualities internally themselves. For the same reason, places of beauty can be transformation for empaths, whether it's a quiet garden, a lovely bedroom, or the halls of a museum. Likewise, chaotic or depressing environments will quickly pull the energy out of an empath. Fourth, you understand where people are coming from. Empath expert Dr. Judith Orloff explains that this is the core trait of an empath, even more so than absorbing the emotions of others. After all, empaths can learn not to absorb emotions as much, and some empaths rarely absorb them at all. But all empaths are able to intuitively sense what someone is trying to express, even when they are having a hard time getting out of it. Empathy, after all, is fundamentally about understanding and connecting with others, and that's what it means to sense where people are coming from. Fifth, people turn to you for advice. With such insight, empaths are frequently sought by their friend for advice, support, and encouragement. It helps that empaths also tend to be good listeners and will often patiently wait for someone to say what they need to say and then respond from the heart. If this sounds like you probably know that it can be hard at times. 2. People don't always realize how much of your energy it takes for you to be the listener and advice giver, and some people take it for granted. Sixth, tragic or violent events on TV can completely incapacitate you. If you are an empath, it doesn't matter that a horrible event isn't happening to you. You still feel it through your entire being. You may seem to live through the pain or loss of the event yourself, even if you are the thousands of miles away, or indeed, even if it's a fictional event in a show. This reaction can be completely overwhelming at times. Empaths, like HSPs, or you can say highly sensitive people, may not do well watching violence or human tragedy, even if it's a movie that others find gripping. Seventh, you can contain your love of pets, animals, or babies. Sure, everyone knows that babies are adorable little miracles and dogs, cats are cute. But for you, those feelings seem to be much stronger. You may not be able to help yourself from gushing over someone's lovely child or immediately crouching down to show some love to a puppy. Some people might find your reaction over the top, but for you, how can anyone not react this way? In many ways, this is the one of the many perks of being an empath. All your feelings, including positive ones, are turned way up. 8th, you may feel people's physical illnesses too, not just their emotions. When someone is sick or injured, you might even go so far as to feel their ailment as if it's your own. This doesn't mean feeling sympathy or concern for them, but having actual physical sensations like pain, tightness, or soreness in the same areas of the body. It's as if your empathic brain is not only mirroring what the other person must be experiencing, also, but also projecting that experience physically into your own body. And it can be uncomfortable, even debilitating. It's probably not a gift that most empaths love to have, but it's also at the root of why empaths are such exceptional caregivers. Without this ability, they wouldn't be able to truly connect with someone who is in pain or get them just what they need to feel more at ease. It's not surprising that empaths are drawn to low roles like nurse, doctor, elder care provider, or healer. If you can feel everyone's pain, it would be surprising not to want to do something about it. Ninth, you can become overwhelmed in intimate relationships. Relationships can be challenging for everyone, but imagine how much bigger those challenges are When you can sense every little mood, irritation, or yes, even lie from your partner. And positive emotions can also become overwhelming as if the relationship may engulf you. Sound familiar? But it's more than that. Once you live together, the shared environment is also a hurdle. A cohabiting partner's energy is always present for an empath and can almost feel like an intrusion. Empaths view their homes as a sanctuary where they can get away from the constant demand on their emotional senses, and a partner changes that. While some empaths choose to remain single for this reason, others learn to adapt, perhaps by giving a room that's their private space, or extremely important, seeking a partner who respects their boundaries. 10th, you are a walking lie detector. Since there probably have been times when someone successfully deceived you, but even then, you knew you were going against your gut instinct from the start. The thing about an empath's ability to process even the tiniest social cues means that it's almost impossible for someone to hide their true intentions, even if you don't know exactly what a person really wants. You know if they are not being completely honest or if they seem shifty. 11th, you can understand why any leader wouldn't put their teams first. There are plenty of managers and group organizers who simply don't pay attention to their team needs. If you are an empath, this isn't just rude or annoying, it's a failure of leadership. Partly this is because empaths can make excellent leaders themselves, and when they do, it's always by listening to their team and uniting people around shared goals. Empaths tend to be thoughtful and attentive, making sure each team member is heard. The result isn't just a happier group of people, it's making better decisions by getting all the information. 12th, you have a calming effect on other people and the power to heal them. It's true, just as people seek out empaths for advice, they also just feel more at peace in an empath's presence. In fact, people often unwittingly seek out their most empathetic friends during difficult times. This is something you can develop and used to actually heal people in the sense of helping them work past serious emotional baggage and overcome unhealthy patterns. But you can do so if you hide your sensitivity and empathy. You have to embrace your gift if you really want to make a difference. 13. You cannot see someone in pain without wanting to help. Can you walk past someone who's in need without wondering how you could help them? Do you struggle to turn off your concern for others because there's a job to do? If the answer is no, not even when you are busy, not even when you are rushed, then there's good chance you are an empath. And this is why empaths are such a valuable part of the amazing kaleidoscope of the human race. For an empath, people are the brightest things on their radar, and it's impossible not to see and respond to the needs of others. That is exactly where an empath's healing ability comes from, and it's something we would use more of in our world. Thank you guys. Please like, subscribe and comment for more videos, and you can also comment in a section for the next video you would like to have. I'm thinking about the signs which show that you are an INFJ empath, but if you want another video you can put in the comment section, and please watch the whole video. It's really interesting. It's a little big, but it's really interesting. Thank you.